Clayton Kershaw reaches a career milestone, and he's taken off the hook. Did not get the loss as the Dodgers come back in the bottom half of the ninth inning and walk off against the White Sox. MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, and we are underway.
When that final out is made, you know it's time for Locked On MLB Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. Prepare to experience game day reactions like never before. Only on Locked On MLB Game Night. Your team every day.
Welcome in, everyone. We are delighted to have you on board. He is JD Hafron, host of Locked On Cardinals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Follow JD on social media, on the X, at Locked On LO_Cardinals, and at JD Sports Radio as well. I'm Steve Lenox, host of the Locked On Red Sox Postcast. You can follow me on the X at Lenox on Baseball. 3 true doubleheaders Wednesday, none of them resulting in a doubleheader sweep. Jays continue to stay hot, and they're now tied for first in the AL East with the Yankees, and the Braves win another game, but also dealing with another injury. Our latest episode of the Locked On MLB Game Night, every game, every night, presented by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com and save 50% off on your first year. JD, we open up with history at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles late Wednesday night. Clayton Kershaw, I put this on at the perfect time as he takes the mound in the 6th inning. He needed 3 strikeouts. He had 2 through the first 5 innings, gets a strikeout of Vinny Capra to end the 6th inning. His 3,000th career strikeout, the 20th pitcher in Major League Baseball history to hit that milestone.
Yeah, and I don't know if or when we're going to ever see it again because people just don't play long enough. They don't throw enough innings anymore to accumulate numbers like 3,000 strikeouts. He joins Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, who are still active guys that have reached that mark already. But as far as people that are coming up on that milestone, the next guy is going to be Chris Sale, who's at 2,528. And then you've got the Yankees' Garrett Cole at 2,251. Both of those guys are injured. And that's another thing is you got to stay healthy long enough to strike out 3,000 guys. And it's just not something that a lot of people are going to do anymore.
And Kershaw has come back from 2 major injuries. Freddie Freeman, RBI single, bottom half of the 9th inning. Mookie Betts tied it with an RBI sac fly. So that took Kershaw off the hook for the loss. Freeman again ending it with the walk-off win, 7th walk-off win of the season for the Dodgers as they win it 5-4 against the White Sox. And the Dodgers, they just keep winning. They're now season high 23 games over 500. Hey, you cover the Cardinals for Locked On Cardinals. This is not hyperbole. I've been to St. Louis. We'll talk about that off the air down the road at some point in time. Relatives in St. Louis. The Cardinals do things the right way. It's the Cardinal way. You reach a milestone like this, it's captured perfectly. The Dodgers do the same thing. And when Kershaw reached that number, the fans knew it. Dave Roberts, the manager, knew it. He was going to manage differently tonight. He was going to try to keep him in the game to reach the number at home. That's not hyperbole. Cardinals, Dodgers, Yankees, you can throw a couple other franchises in there. I think the Red Sox do too, but you just do history the right way.
Yeah, these are franchises that, luckily enough, have had a lot of success over the years. So they've got some familiarity with reaching big moments for certain players. The Cardinals last time with Adam Wainwright being able to do it in front of the home crowd when he was going for his 200th win. So they do it right, and the Dodgers did everything the right way tonight. It really worked out nicely. He got the strikeout on the last pitch of the night, too, for him. It just worked out. The drama was there. It was a fun atmosphere, and it was cool to see Clayton hit it.
Again, Dodgers pick up the victory. Clayton Kershaw reaching 3,000 career strikeouts at the big league level. Takes a no decision, and the Dodgers walk off in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Let's move on. Yankees, Blue Jays continuing their series north of the border on Wednesday. The Blue Jays jump out to an early lead. They hold on and win this one. We're going to get the perspective on the Yankees side as they're now in a first-place tie in the AL East with the Red Hot Blue Jays. We hear from Jay Berman, Locked On Yankees postcast.
Yanks lose again to Toronto. This one, a wild one. 11-9 the final score as the Bombers have now dropped the first 3 of 4 from the Blue Jays. At one point tonight, Toronto led 8-0. at one point tonight. The Yanks tied it up at 9 after an Aaron Judge 440-foot blast. The home run is 31st of the season. As we said, 9-9 into the bottom of the 8th. Devin Williams coughs up 2 runs. Jays shut the door in the 9th. And again, 11-9 the final score. And because of the win tonight for Toronto, they're now tied with the Yanks atop the AL East, a half game in front of the Rays. Again, 11-9 the final score. Jays go for the sweep tomorrow.
And it's going to be Clark Schmidt on the mound, JD, in the series finale. I kind of feel like this game in many ways showed exactly what the Yankees are. You don't always get great pitching, starting pitching. They come back and tie it up with the bats, but in the end, the bullpen can't take care of business.
Yeah, it just has been an incomplete type of season for the Yankees thus far. When Aaron Judge isn't hitting bombs, the offense kind of gets a little bit stale. You've had the issues with Weaver being injured in the bullpen. We know about the injuries in the rotation with guys like Garrett Cole and Luis Heel. And it's been a tough go for the Yankees. And, this is one of those times, though, where, maybe the Blue Jays are hot and they're feeling good, but there's still a lot of baseball left. You got the entire month leading up to the trade deadline. Yankees don't strike me as a team that's going to just sit on their hands and wait for something to go down. They're going to make some things happen to make sure that they take that AL East title.
I watched the Blue Jays over the weekend take 2 of 3 from the Red Sox at Fenway. This is, in a lot of ways, the same team as last year. Santander added during the offseason. Jeff Hoffman, big piece in the back of the bullpen. But I really feel like at this point in time, after watching them this past weekend at Fenway, they're on a mission and they're playing together in a lot of ways. They're pulling for each other. They play the small ball when they need to. They use the home run when they need to, but they also pick each other up. They'll move the runner along. They'll get the runner in from third base less than 2 outs. That's a winning formula for John Snyder and the Jays.
Yeah, Blue Jays did the same thing to the Cardinals. They swept the Cardinals in St. Louis, and it was like just exhausting trying to get through their lineup. They don't strike out a whole lot. And like you said, they do the small things. They do the fundamental things correctly, especially on the offensive side. The staff and stuff, not the scariest thing in the world, but solid, with Gossman and, some of these other guys that they've got. But the lineup, it's just like it never stops. And they just get something. They get contributions constantly from everybody in that lineup. It's not just Vladdy. It's not just Bo Bichette. It's constantly people like Clement. And you mentioned Santander. Haven't hardly heard anything from him this year. He's hardly been a factor for him, and yet they continue. Having Kirk in the cleanup spot, the catcher, I mean, he's having a hell of a season too. So that is a tough lineup to navigate through, and they continue to roll.
Yeah, and I'm falling in love with Addison Barger as well, another one of those young guys. We're going to get this out of the way for you. Pirates do complete the series sweep over your Cardinals. All 3 shutouts. We know the different numbers. We're going to get into those here in just a moment. But we also are going to hear from Gary, Locked On Pirates. And JD, he's got some concern for you.
Pittsburgh Pirates just beat the St. Louis Cardinals 5-0 to complete the sweep. This is Gary from Locked On Pirates. I got to be honest. I've been watching MLB Game Night. I really hope my friend JD from Locked On Cardinals is not the host this time. I feel terrible watching his face when I do these recaps. But the Pirates did not allow the St. Louis Cardinals to score a single run in this entire series. They shut them out over the entire series. What a game. Mitch Keller, unbelievable. Sonny Gray was unbelievable. This was a close game. This was a 1-0 game going into the 8th inning, and then the Pirates just exploded again, as they have so often, and ended up pinning 4 on Sonny Gray. Pirates haven't allowed a run since the 5th inning on Sunday. They've only allowed 4 since Friday. Unbelievable what's going on right now with this baseball team. The last thing they want is the off day they're going to get tomorrow. We're going to pick this up in Seattle and see what the Pirates can do against another contender. Love it. Great times right now. Check out more on Locked On Pirates tomorrow.
Floor is yours, my friend.
He's said everything is truthful there. All of it is real. The Pirates dominate. Their pitching staff dominated in 2 of the 3 games. So today's game and then the first game of the series. it was all Pirates. Like as far as pitching and stuff, I feel like the Cardinals lost game 2 more than the Pirates actually won game 2. But give the Pirates credit; they're not making mistakes. The pitching staff has been outstanding, and they come up with the big plays when they need them. And then we mentioned the fundamentals that like Toronto's been doing. That's what the Pirates are doing. When they get somebody on, they steal a base, they move them over, and they get them in. It's simple stuff that you feel like most teams should be able to do, and it just doesn't happen all the time. And they were able to do it more times than the Cardinals were able to do. And again, that pitching staff, whatever's going on in the Pirates right now, whatever they're drinking as far as the team, like keep that Kool-Aid going in the locker room for them, because it was very impressive to see what they did, not only in this series, but to beat the snot out of the Mets before that, which, let's be honest, a much better team on paper than the Cardinals are. And to continue what they did against the Mets to the Cardinals, they're hot, man. They are hot, and they're coming for you, Seattle. Look out.
JD, you mentioned the Mets. The Mets, one of 3 doubleheaders because of the rainouts on Tuesday. So one of 3 doubleheaders. No sweeps in the 3 doubleheaders. Yeah. Milwaukee got the first one. Mets came back and got the second one on Wednesday at Citi Field. With that, they end their losing streak. Our guy, Chuck Freeman, Locked On Brewers, he was hoping for a sweep after they took game 1, but he'll take the sweep.
Wanted to sweep this series because he had the Miz going in game 2. You're thinking sweep at this point, but the Miz just showed that he's human, right? Hey, everybody, Chuck Freeman, Instant Reaction, Locked On Brewers. We'll start with Jacob Mizorowski. 5 innings. Second inning was his downfall. Started to build up a pitch count early on, was laboring out there a little bit, walking guys, didn't have command, gave him a grand slam, got the first 2 outs, but then ended up infield single, walks caught up with him, and gave up back-to-back home runs, in fact, in that 5-run second inning for the Mets. And then that was it. He was out of there after 5 innings and 72 pitches, but not his best start. But, hey, Mama said there's going to be days like that, right? Hey, I'm happy with the split. Even though I wanted the sweep with the Miz going, how about Joey Ortiz hitting the grand slam in game 1? Getting a split, now it's time to take that series. Final game in New York against the Mets. I think the Brewers could do it tomorrow. We'll talk about that a little bit later on tonight on the next edition of Locked On Brewers. Please subscribe.
And Chuck mentions that grand slam by Ortiz in game 1 and their victory. 3 Milwaukee pitchers in that game 1, holding the Mets to just 2 hits total, and both singles. They did get the offense going in game 2. Brandon Nimmo had a big blow in that one.
Yeah, that was what was kind of funny about these games, is they were almost like mirror images of each other, where in the first one it was the Brewers getting the big grand slam, flip it into game 2, and it ends up being the Mets who end up scoring 5 runs in that second inning against the Miz, and gets the grand slam by Nimmo. They end up going back-to-back, actually, with Francisco Lindor also hitting a home run there. But, that kid he's something else to watch out there. The Cardinals got him in his first major league start, and he was very impressive. And the Brewers doing Brewers things. It seems like every year they just let pieces walk away, yet they keep winning. They figure out ways to win. They're doing it right in Milwaukee as well. The Mets win at 7-3 in that second one, snapped their 4-game losing streak. 30th win at Citi Field. They're a much better team at home anyway, so probably won't be quite as easy as Chuck makes it sound, but hey, that's why they play the games.
Well, the Phillies split 2 in the city of brotherly love against the Padres. The Braves picked up another victory, but they also suffered another significant injury. We'll have the details next. It's MLB Game Night.
Today's show being brought to you by Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Now, whether you're into plumbing, HVAC, electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order your products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product information that's going to help you get the job done right, which is what you're trying to do in the first place. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400-plus top brands, you're going to find exactly what you need. It's going to get delivered to you fast, coast to coast, wherever you are. And if something happens, if you need help with an order, you got a question, Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service. You always get to talk to a real person. It's not computers. It's not you punching numbers into a phone. You talk to a human being. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every single order. Thousands of skilled professionals. They're already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the TradeMaster program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use the promo code SH5. Get 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com.
Back at it, MLB Game Night. Every game, every night. Steve Lenox, JD Hafron from Locked On Cardinals. Phillies, Padres, one of those doubleheaders that we're touching on. Padres took game one. Nick Pivetta picked up the victory. I've got a question for you about Nick Pivetta after we hear from Connor Thomas. He was happy, and he was impressed with Christopher Sanchez, who did pick up the victory in game two for the Phillies.
It's a huge series win for the Philadelphia Phillies, a big doubleheader split to take the series over the Padres. I'm Connor Thomas, your host of Locked On Phillies, and what a bounce back from the Phils in game two. They did have some momentum at the end of game one of the doubleheader, but Christopher Sanchez, he made sure that the Phillies kept that going. He was awesome, and the stretch of awesome starting pitching for the Phillies outside of Mick Abel continues. I mean, this rotation is unbelievable, and Sanchez probably should have gotten the eighth as well. I didn't really like pulling him there for Ryan Kerkering, but either way, the bullpen gets the job done. Kerkering looked good. Strom looked good enough. I mean, we'll take that. Max Kepler goes yards. Good to see him showing off some power. Probably should add two in this series. Brandon Marsh to straightaway center. He's swinging a hot bat right now. I mean, this Phillies team, man, they got something cooking right now as we head into the month of July. We'll see if they keep it up and build on their lead in the NL East. We'll talk more about it on tomorrow's episode of Locked On Phillies.
And they don't gain or lose any ground because they split a doubleheader. And as we touched on, the Mets also splitting their doubleheader at home at Citi Field against the Brewers. But right now, the Phillies, as Connor said, they're playing the winning baseball. It's been back and forth. The Mets have played well. Then the Phillies have played well, where the Mets went into a spin, and now the Phillies have a little bit of breathing room in that division.
Yeah, I remember it wasn't too long ago where the Phillies were like 9 losses out of 10 games or something. Everybody's like, what's wrong with the Phillies? I think getting Bryce Harper is obviously a big piece of that puzzle of why those struggles were taking place. But as far as like a full roster, one of the best complete rosters in Major League Baseball. Again, a team that's not going to be shy when it comes to the deadline. I am very interested to see what pieces they're looking to add, because it's not like they have big holes in their team right now.
Right.
And it's going to be very interesting to see what they decide to go after here at the trade deadline coming up in about a month.
JD, Nick Pivetta did pick up his 9th win of the season in the Padres' victory in Game 1. The Padres were actually out hit 12-5 in Game 1, beat the Phillies 6-4. They walked 9 times, and Connor alluded to that with Mick Abel not having a great outing. But did you have Nick Pivetta with 9 wins for the Padres before the All-Star break? And I'll follow that up with, did you have Nick Pivetta winning 9 games for the Padres for the 2025 season?
I mean, of course I did. What are you kidding me, Steve? Of course I had that. No, absolutely not. Nick Pivetta with 9 wins already. That's absurd. What do you have? 6 last year? Has only had double-figure wins like twice in his entire career. Of course not. But every year there's these guys that just kind of pop up and outdo what everybody expects them to do. Nick Pivetta pulling it off right now with that 9th win. Yeah, last year, looking at it right now, 6-12 last year when he was in Boston. And here he is with 9 wins for the Padres already, who, let's be honest, I'm still waiting for them to kind of take off. Like it's still as they're just kind of hanging out and just kind of treading water there in the NL West. And we haven't seen them make that jump and get really hot yet. So imagine if that's something that takes place over the next couple of weeks, and how important Nick Pivetta being what he's been for them will mean towards reaching that goal of getting to the playoffs this year.
Interleague play, Angels and Braves continuing their series in Atlanta. Braves able to even up the series at a big 6th inning, but they also are going to be without Spencer Schwellenbach going forward as well. Jake Mastriani, Locked On Braves, has the details on the Braves win and the injury to Spencer Schwellenbach.
They started out rough for the Atlanta Braves. It ends in a grand fashion as they get an 8-3 win over the Angels. Jake Mastriani here from Locked On Braves. And certainly some bad news for the Atlanta Braves today with Spencer Schwellenbach going on the IL. And if the Braves are going to have any chance this season, it is going to have to be from their offense stepping up, and they eventually did in the game on Wednesday night against the Angels. Sean Murphy with another big home run, a 3-run shot in this one that took the Braves from down 2 to up 1, and then Matt Olson with a grand slam to really pad the Braves lead. And that's going to have to be the recipe for this Braves team the rest of the way if they're going to have any shot of making some noise in the second half of the season. So great to see them respond to the bad news, losing another one of their top starters with now Sell and Schwellenbach on the IL, but their big bats may be finally coming awake. They certainly did in this one as the Braves get an 8-3 win over the Angels. We'll talk more about this game over on the Locked On Braves postcast and the next episode of Locked On Braves.
JD, I believe that the Braves could dig themselves out of the hole when they opened up the season with 7, 8, I think it was 8 straight losses. Then they dug themselves in a hole again. I just don't, I love Jake's enthusiasm. I just don't see it with Schwellenbach down for a time. Maybe deep into the season where they just say, hey, we'll see in 2026. And Chris Sale's also out as well. Those are two huge holes in that rotation.
Yeah, they just can't catch a break this year. I mean, it has been rough to watch them because on paper, you would think the Braves would be an excellent team, and you just can't keep them healthy. That Chris Sale one, another fluke injury, has the best game of his season with Atlanta, and fractures a rib in the last inning that he's pitching in, and he's on 60-day IL now. Strider, coming back from the elbow injury, wasn't very good early on, then kind of, started to look more like himself, but he's still not all the way back. And, it's got some people questioning. I was watching something earlier today about, is it possible that they put Acuna Jr. out there on the trade market just to see what somebody would be willing to give up. I think it's as crazy as that face you just made is, but it's not something I think they'll do, but it's to the point where this is a season for the Braves that unfortunately looks like it's going the wrong way, and there's not going to be a way to survive it.
I just thought of Atlanta Braves fans reacting the way the Red Sox fans did a couple of weeks ago when Craig Breslow traded Rafael Devers away. Joe Adell single in the first inning, extending his hit streak to 13 in a row. But the Angels back to a game under 500 at 42 and 43. Bryce Elder, Jose Soriano, the pitching matchup for the Braves as they wrap up their series against the Angels on Thursday in Atlanta.
All right, let's go. Twins at Marlins. I don't know if you know this, Steve, but the Marlins are the hottest team in baseball. I'll say that again. The Marlins are the hottest team in baseball. Pirates are right there. Don't get me wrong. But the Marlins had won 8 in a row, while the Twins had lost 3 in a row, were 5 games below 500 and a distant 13 back of Detroit in the AL Central. Marlins shut the Twins out on Tuesday 2-0. And it was another pitcher's duel in Miami on Wednesday. Simeon Woods Richardson on the bump for Minnesota versus Jansen Junk. What a great name for the Fish. Twins got on the board first, sac fly by Brooks Lee. Marlins answer in the second with a solo shot from Kyle Stowers, his 15th of the year. What a difference he's made for this Marlins lineup. He was part of that Trevor Rogers trade to Baltimore last year. Twins get an RBI single by Carlos Correa in the 4th inning, and the Marlins would end up threatening a couple of different times. A would-be RBI single by Stowers again was actually taken off the board. Weird play because it hit off the second base umpire before rolling into center field. Then in the 7th inning, Harrison Bader, former Cardinal, throws out Connor Norby at the plate after a Xavier Edwards single, and the Twins hang on to win this one 2-1. Woods Richardson, 5 innings, 1 run, 2 hits, 3 strikeouts. Second straight win moves him to 4-4 on the year, and it snaps the Marlins' 8-game winning streak.
All right, the Red Sox had an opportunity. It wasn't a true doubleheader. They finished the suspended game from Tuesday and came from behind to win 5-3 in that suspended game. Game 2, the Red Sox had a 3-0 lead. That's when the Reds said, hey, we haven't been swept this season, and we're not leaving Boston being swept by the Red Sox either. And that did not happen. Greg Weissert giving up a grand slam to Encarnacion Strand. Christian Encarnacion Strand put him up 4-3 with that grand slam in the 7th inning, and they end up winning this one going away 8-4 the final. So a split. Red Sox do win the series. We hear from Jeff Carr, who's got the Reds perspective on this. Jeff from Locked On Reds, and Jeff saw some things from the Red Sox that made the Reds laugh, and Jeff said, you know what? That's a team that's under 500. Welcome to my world, Jeff.
Cincinnati Reds remain the only team in Major League Baseball yet to be swept as they avoid the sweep in the 3rd game against the Boston Red Sox on Wednesday evening. What's up? This is Jeff Carr from the Locked On Reds podcast. And yeah, it wasn't the best of series. The Reds lose 2 out of 3. But in the third game, CES hits a monster grand slam, demonstrating his power. And the reason why people still continue to believe in him, including myself, that he could soon become the guy that all of his scouting reports point to him being. And then the Reds take advantage of some crazy defensive miscues by the Boston Red Sox. I mean, to the point that the dugout for the Reds was just up on the top rail laughing at everything that was going on. But ultimately, I'm really most impressed by Nick Martinez. Nick Martinez coming off of a start in which he almost threw a no-hitter through 8 innings, over 110 pitches, most in his career, and he throws 6 2/3 in the following start. He is looking like the guy that the Reds need in this rotation, and it was great to see his performance in the finale against the Red Sox. Off day, and they head to Philly.
Yeah, the way I, as he says it there, Jeff says it there about the Red Sox. It kind of, as they lost the lead there when Encarnacion and Strand hit the grand slam, it's like the 7 and 8-year-olds in Little League, where it's the third or fourth inning, they've lost interest, they want to be at the concession stand, and then the floodgates open. That's what happened, and it got ugly. It got real ugly for the Red Sox. What are you going to do? They do take 2 out of 3 in that series. Let's move on. Our final game of segment number 2, JD. The Guardians, they keep losing. They've now lost 6 in a row as the Cubs take care of business at Wrigley on Wednesday. On Wednesday.
Yeah, the Cubs are on top of the NL Central. Got word that they're going to have not 1 but 2 starters in the NL All-Star game. Pico Armstrong and Kyle Tucker both going to be in the outfield. Guardians, again, they're stumbling. My Cardinals went in there and swept them and turned around and got swept by Pittsburgh. They had Shota Imanaga on the mound making his second start, coming off the IL, had that hammy injury that kept him out for a while. And the All-Star duo for the Cubbies, man, they were at it again, combining to go 3 for 8 with 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases. I know we got Justin from Locked On Guardians, and he's just trying to stress the positives in this one, isn't he? But
yeah, but I did move on from Justin. Unfortunately, it took him out of the queue there.
It's okay. It's okay. I can keep going because I got all the Cubs knowledge on this one, because being in the division with them. Seiya Suzuki deserves to be an all-star. Was not voted in as a starter, but ended up having another big night. He drives in 3. He's got a league-leading 73 RBIs. Who saw that coming? Emanaga goes 5 in the third innings, allows 3 runs on 4 hits. All 3 runs, by the way, solo home runs hit by the Guardians. He strikes out 4. He moves on to 5-2 on the year. Little knowledge about what's going on with the Cubs and the All-Star voting. Dexter Fowler, 2016, last Cubs outfielder, voted into the lineup but did not play because of injury, which makes Kosuke Fukudome. Remember him? He's the last Cubs outfielder to play in an All-Star game as an outfield starter. 2008, Steve. That's a long time ago.
That's a long time ago. The Rays nearly coughed up a lead in the 9th inning against Booney's Athletics, but the Rays managed to win, and the Athletics don't leave Florida with a series sweep. We've got the details next. It's MLB Game Night.
Today's show being brought to you by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Well, you're dining out. That gets expensive. How about online shopping? Real easy to just hit the button and spend your money like that, right? Of course, entertainment, going to ball games, sporting events and stuff. Easy to lose track, and that's where Monarch Money comes in. Your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is not just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. It's there to help you. It's there to track all your accounts and your investments and your spending and do it all in one place. So you stop managing your money and actually start building wealth. And then if you have, a partner or you've got a spouse and you guys have accounts and you share them together, Monarch Money is going to help you with that as well. It's going to make things go so much smoother for you. It's going to help you set goals and keep you guys on the same page without all the stress. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year.
All right, back at it. Our third and final segment. I mentioned the Rays there, JD. They do pick up a victory. Hold on. But the Athletics really got back into this one in the 9th inning. And they had a shot with less than 2 outs, but could not come through We do hear from our guy Booney as to how things unfolded in that ninth inning for the Athletics.
Pain. That's the only word for this one. The A's went down swinging, literally, in one of the most gut-wrenching losses of the year. Trailing 6-2 in the ninth, Max Muncy leads the inning off with a solo home run. Austin wins, doubles. Gio Urshela drives him in. Max Schumann, third hit of the night. Lawrence Butler off the bench delivers. Tyler Soderstrom, infield hit. And all of a sudden, it's 6-5, bases loaded, 1 out. Brent Rooker at the plate, the guy you want up in that spot. Strikeout swinging. Nick Kurtz with 2 outs works it to a full count and then chases ball 4 out of the zone to end the game. Rays win 6-5. A's struck out 17 times today, 15 times yesterday, 10 times in game 1. Sure, the A's won the series, but it sure don't feel that way.
Booney and my Red Sox, we've got something in common with all the strikeouts. And, you take 2 out of 3, but you just don't feel good departing from the city you just played 3 games in.
Yeah, it's when you lose that final game, it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. It's always such a bummer. And to go down like that, where you feel like after winning a couple where, hey, hope's on our side, where things are going our way, and then to have it all come crumbling down like that at the end, that's a tough loss. But like you said, most important thing, really, you took 2 out of 3. Congratulations.
Brandon Lau 1 for 4 with the double for the Rays in the victory. He extends his hit streak to 18 straight games. Do a little rapid fire here as we close up. There was a doubleheader in our nation's capital on Wednesday. Nationals lose game 1 of the Tigers. Nationals come back and win game number 2, down 4-3. Nathaniel Lowe clearing the bases with a 3-run triple. Lowe RBI single in the first inning, 4 RBIs. Josh Bell also had 3 hits, 3 runs batted in as well. Mackenzie Gore took a no decision. Went 5 1/3, struck out just 2. So the strikeout numbers down for Gore, one of the top strikeout pitchers in the major leagues. Takes a no decision, but the Nats, again, pick up the split after losing game 1, 11-2 to the Tigers.
Orioles were at the Rangers. Rangers beat the O's on Tuesday night after another impressive game by Jacob deGrom. This time they had Nathan Eovaldi making his second start since coming off the IL after dealing with the triceps tightness, and he continued the Rangers pitching dominance over Baltimore. He tossed his 5 shutout innings, which lowered his season ERA to 1.76 across 14 starts. The Rangers would end up taking this one by a score of 6-0. Those 6 runs actually tied for the most runs that the team has scored in an Eovaldi start this season. That's been a big problem for them, is being able to score runs when Eovaldi is on the mound.
Giants able to avoid a 5th straight loss, win an extra inning 6-5-10 against the Diamondbacks, who dropped to 500 at 43-43. Patrick Bailey RBI and a sac fly in the 10th inning. That proves to be the difference as the Giants get the final 3 outs in the bottom half of the 10th inning and pick up that 1-run victory.
Astros were in Colorado, and they got some bad injury news yesterday about Yordan Alvarez's hand. Jeremy Pena goes on the IL. But they just keep winning. Steve. Hunter Brown got the start, looking for his 9th win of the season against Austin Gomber for the Rockies. And a little bit of history in this one. Jose Altuve ends up getting a 2-run single in the 6th inning to not only give the Astros the lead for good, but he also passes Hall of Famer Jeff Bagwell on the Astros all-time hits list. He's now 745 behind Craig Biggio, who is the all-time leader in Astros history. 35 years old now. We need to average about 150 hits a season over the next 5 years. Do you think he can do it, Steve?
I hope he gets there, but I have my doubts. So I'll say no.
Brown strikes out 8 over 6 inning, leads the majors in ERA at 1.82. Astros go on to win this one by a score of 5-3.
Mariners game 3 of their 4-game series at home against the Royals, 3-2 the final as the Mariners pick up the victory. The only note I'm going to give here, the Royals have dropped 9 of 11. In their 2 victories during that 11-game stretch, they've scored 15 runs. And the 9 losses, 13 total runs. JD, take a final swing, your final thought from Wednesday.
A lot of double headers, an exhausting day of baseball because of Mother Nature. This is July, Mother Nature. Stop bothering us and let us watch our games. No more double headers. They're exhausting.
That is a wrap for us on MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, available wherever you get your podcast. MLB Game Night, again, every game, every night. For JD, I'm Steve. We'll talk soon.